Banging their pots and pans, anti-war group Code Pink was on high alert on November 14th.
We're here today to tell Obama and Congress it is time to deflate the Pentagon and bring that money home to the needs of our communities.
Marking their 10-year anniversary, the group and supporters staged a demonstration calling for newly re-elected U.S. President Obama to end his support of drone warfare and the war in Afghanistan.
One of the things we're going to do is stop the war in Afghanistan. Not in 2 years, where they're talking about scaling back a little bit, but keeping thousands of troops in Afghanistan. We want to end that war now. Of those 68,000 young soldiers in Afghanistan today, every one of them cost $1 million. Not because they're getting a lot of money, half of them qualify for food stamps, but because it costs so much to wage war across the world when you're having to fly in air conditioners to the tune of $22 billion a year. So what does it mean? You pull back one young soldier, that saves you $1 million. You can hire that soldier and 19 more back home for a $50,000 a year, good middle-class salary, enough to support a family.
Code Pink then took their message to Capitol Hill and created this model drone with a sign that read, "Stop Killer Drones." Up to 4,100 people have been killed in covert U.S. drone strikes since the program began 10 years ago, according to the Bureau of Investigative Journalism in the UK.
The administration doesn't want to publicize the numbers of people that they kill. They don't want to publicize exactly where these drones have struck. And investigative journalists, it's tough for them because the areas of Pakistan where these are used are very isolated areas that are very difficult and dangerous to get into. And therefore, a lot of Americans don't know much about these, but they're so easy to use in a way by our own military that they're easy to be used on us. And if we don't want, the old adage of don't do unto others what you don't want done to yourself, well, these are easy things to be used, and America ought to be very, very cautious about this type of weaponry.
To illustrate civilian deaths from drone strikes, demonstrators recited the names of those killed, and then they covered themselves with stained sheets. Co-founder of Code Pink, Medea Benjamin, recently returned from Pakistan. She says that drone strikes are damaging America's image all over the world.
They're also used in places that we have not declared any kind of war, and that's Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, and most recently the CIA has asked for more drones to be used in northern Africa. They're concerned about the, quote, vacuum of power in Mali and Libya, and that al-Qaeda will take a foothold there. There have been thousands of people killed by the drones, but it's a secret program, so our government doesn't reveal the numbers. From the Bureau of Investigative Journalism in the UK, we get a sense that about 3,200 people have been killed in Pakistan alone. People always ask, well, are they civilians or are they militants? And we say, well, how do we know? The U.S. considers any male of military age living in the zones where we're using the drones as militants. So I think we should assume that just about everybody is innocent, especially innocent until proven guilty.
Code Pink then went to the office of Michigan Congressman Mike Rogers, who was the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. They presented his staff with a signed petition calling for the end of drone strikes.
We're here in Washington, D.C. to do the will of the majority of Americans who want the war in Afghanistan to end immediately, who want to cut our Pentagon bloated budget and want our resources to be redirected into healthcare, education, green jobs, and other life-affirming activities. And we are going to be here on the inauguration. We're going to be here all the time in 2013 to keep pushing this message, and we know that we have to hold ourselves accountable as a peace movement, that we need to work harder to build a broad-based movement for social and economic justice and to take the next step in the wave of Occupy Wall Street and the huge protests that are today sweeping through Europe, protesting austerity, that we need to keep building this global movement.
Those lobbying for drones have had an increasing presence on the Hill, with the Unmanned Systems Caucus spearheading an initiative to get more members to support the use of drones. The 60-member bipartisan caucus is co-chaired by Congressman Howard Buck McCann, a Republican from California who also chairs the House Armed Services Committee. According to First Street Research, the caucus members received a total of $2.3 million in contributions from political action committees affiliated with drone manufacturers since 2011. Code Pink visited Congressman McCann's office and met with military legislative assistant Morley Green to address their issues. Left with not many answers, the world will now be looking to the United Nations. The organization recently announced plans to set up an investigation into civilian deaths by individual U.S. drone strikes. For the Real News Network, Jessica Devereaux, Washington.